The next thing, which I held like a group call about it like recently, is our raw data library. So who of you would say they're kind of an expert with AI? Someone? Cool. Couple of people, right? Who of you knows Claude AI? Okay, most. Okay, that does make me happy. I was a bit scared, but all right, that's very good. So what we do is we just feed Claude like an entire project of little samples of all of our content, right? I'm not going to go too much into it because it's very technical, but we feed Claude all the different hooks that we do from every single video. We feed it every single piece of content, every single amount of views we do. So our Claude at this point in time knows more about our content than we do. So we can just say, hey, we want to try, like, here's the content instruction, optimize it. And he's going to look at all the hooks that work, look at all the numbers, say, okay, this hook is perfect. So you can create a very big library of data, which again, not the biggest step. It's going to take some effort, but I swear to God, this thing that we put together knows more about our marketing right now than my employees, because he doesn't forget. He doesn't act based on feelings. He just acts on data, on the numbers, and on the content pieces attached to it. The more data you give it, the better it is, which is something that, I mean, I can tell the story. I told it like recently in Club 17, but I think we fired like 20% of our marketing team because of this. Because I noticed like we're able to outsource the majority of people who put together a content list with that, which I'm not trying to give Claude ideas from scratch. I'm not telling my AI, for example, come up with a content plan. AI is shit about that. They can't. But I'm coming to Claude with a content idea, and he's optimizing it with all the building blocks that we talked about, the 5, if you remember, and it puts out an entirely new content list that most of the time performs way better than my marketing team. So as a CEO, you're running an enterprise, so you kind of have to lay off people that are not being able to compete with AI. But just to kind of throw that in as a little nugget if you want to go into that. Now, obviously, I'm just going to make this point super quick. You can, if you want to scale the Instagram, there's a third method. You can get very professional with your video editing, which we tried and it worked a couple of times. Obviously, this is something that depends very, very largely on your creators. So this has to happen on creators that already get a certain amount of numbers, and also it's pretty obvious. Like, okay, get a good editor, tell them exactly what you want based on examples you see on other creators, because there's creators who have crazy editing and they go viral every single time, and then just scale it up over time. That makes sense. Now, if I had to say, because most of you, I kind of know what you're doing in your agency, maybe like 10 or 15% of you are currently in a position where that makes sense. But since it's a very valuable thing for us, I thought I would just throw it in to make sense. Now, obviously, kind of, however I put that in the presentation 2 times, we definitely use AI a lot, right? We use AI to kind of optimize a lot of shit that we do. So a lot of pictures our model has in her gallery, for example, we can't use. She has probably 1,000 pictures of herself in cool positions that we can't use because the room is dirty or she doesn't have makeup, whatever. So we just get all the content she has, even if we can't use it, just kind of throw it into an AI and get a way bigger amount of content out of it because it kind of cleans everything up, makes it look better. Cool. Obviously, mixing AI clips with real B-roll also makes perfect sense. For example, she has a clip of her like in the gym where she's running, and then we quickly create an AI clip where it's like outside in the woods because it's a cooler background. You get what I mean? There's a lot of content creation AIs out there. Onlymade.ai is amazing for that. I can also share that when we talk privately. But just to kind of have do's and don'ts here, obviously, don't try to fully AI create your posts unless you're really being deep into the OFM. I think some of you have talked to, they're very deep into it. If you're an AI expert, this is amazing. I've seen like 3 hands open when I asked about that. So again, if you're really an expert with AI and you're able to create a content pipeline that makes sense, amazing to do. For most of us, it's not. Because most people need like a fucking hour to create a good reel from AI, so it does look realistic. Which, if you calculate your time and your hourly rate, that loses your money. Just to kind of put that out there. It's not a universal rule. And also, don't use AI on your babies. What I mean by that, obviously, not literal, out of legal reasons, but your top creators, the ones that bring in the most money, they should have the leverage of creating content yourself. Because AI is a very good crutch, but AI still has the potential to fuck up your account. So if you have one creator that brings in 80% of the revenue, don't risk her account with AI content. Because A, you can burn your subscribers if they find that out, but B, Instagram is very critical about AI nowadays. So to kind of put that into account,